Hello, everyone. And we're going to give another minute for everyone to log in. Thank you for coming today. Okay, we're going to get started in just a few moments. And I'd like to present tonight for the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society, the American Nutrition Association Alliance, and the introduction to the nutrition certification. So, the importance of nutrition education in healthcare as a whole. I think we all know that this is a huge topic and it gets bigger and bigger. I would like to welcome you all to this great initiative where the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society really has the potential to make a greater impact in nutrition education and eye care. My name is Dr. Neda Gioia, and I'm here as an OD in New Jersey. I also have a certified nutrition specialist certification, and I'm the newest president of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society. Thanks to all that have joined, members, future members, our fellows, board members, industry leaders. We're really excited for launching this initiative with the ANA. The agenda tonight will be a brief introduction as to why we are collaborating with the ANA. I will be also introducing Corinne Bush, who is a MS, CNS, and co-founder, interim CEO of the ANA, who will also review the new certification launch. She will subsequently be introducing Dr. David Perlmutter and his address to the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society, emphasizing nutrition and eye care. We are also going to finish off with a Q&A. The Q&A box is applicable to any questions that are associated with the new nutrition program that we're launching. We will address those questions as best we can at the very end, and you can keep them pooling as the webinar goes forward. So without further ado, I'd like to start. Okay, so I would like to start with a quote, and the quote is, "All organizations start with why, but only the great ones keep their why clear year after year." So why does OWNS exist? OWNS has had a pure mission to relay information and educate with sound nutritional advice and support healthcare change. I call it the paper to person connection. So bringing nutrition support for the eye and advancing to nutrition and wellness for ocular health support has always been the direction here. We've had great leadership in the past, and we would like to continue all those initiatives. Together, our voice can be stronger and more impactful. The ANA collaboration is actually not technically new. I'm happy to say that the late Dr. Stuart Richer and Dr. Petit have had connections to them for many years now, and we want to continue in its expansion. So research as a whole is in its renaissance with nutrition and lifestyle medicine. The conversation of food as medicine is receiving so much more attention. Here, I wanted to highlight a recent BMJ article, "Food as Medicine, Actions to Integrate Food and Nutrition into Healthcare." Some key messages. The first one, in the face of the global epidemic of diet-related chronic disease, there is increased experimentation with the use of food as medicine, interventions to prevent, manage, and treat illness. Now, I'm going to jump a few points to clinicians need more and better education and training on the appropriateness and use of these interventions. And that is why we're here, folks, because we want to give our doctors a way to learn about the core of nutrition. So we're going to move to some fun things. Okay. So first, we're going to bring in a poll, and bear with me. So what has been the #1 inquiry to OWNS? just to keep you engaged, I'd like to launch this poll, and whoever is able to answer, please do. And the reason why, it's that this is actually a very, very common question to OWNS, the answer, and I hope some of you get this answer correct. Okay, we have actually a lot of participants already, so I'm going to give it a few more seconds. And the answer so far, we have which foods are best for vision and what nutrition program options are available. So you would think that the answer being the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society would be which foods are best for vision. And the answer is actually not that. It's what nutrition programs are available. That is the number one question we get here at OWNS. So I'm going to end the poll and share the results. Okay. Now, I also squeezed in another poll because I thought it was very applicable when I started researching. Okay. So let me do that. Perfect. Okay. So now the second poll. Did you receive core nutrition education in your medical training? This is another poll that is a quick, I hope this one is exactly what we think. It's unfortunate, but this one's an easy one. So medical training and nutrition are not very common. And I will share that poll right now. Basically, the majority of the participants said that they did not receive nutrition education in their medical training. And that's a very common statement from all medical backgrounds. So I'm going to share that high percentage. Okay. So last but not least, which ocular conditions are not related to nutrition or lifestyle? So I'm going to launch that poll as well. And again, a slightly trick question. Between diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, myopia, dry eye, which condition is not related at all to nutrition or lifestyle? And we're getting some more answers. And again, you'd be surprised. Every one of these conditions has some sort of relationship to lifestyle or nutrition medicine. So I will share the results with you. So basically, most participants agreed with that. So with these polls, I wanted to kind of really emphasize what we do and do not understand, right? And nutrition is just one part of the whole picture. Stress, movement, other lifestyle modifications are necessary for vitality. The ability to help initiate change in people is actually a skill. And oftentimes change is very difficult with lifestyle medicine, especially if you don't have the core education. This picture here depicts a happy place for myself where I find a lot of clearing, and it's in the mountains. So that's what we also need to support in our patients. Next, I'm going to touch up on some membership and web features for the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society. If you didn't already know, we have a new website platform and some membership modifications now in the near future. And I will quickly touch up on these right now. So some quick housekeeping updates. We're going to relaunch our Facebook private group by invitation. We will also be relaunching a doctor lookup feature. We did have this a long time ago, and I'd like to bring it back to all of our OWNS members. This actually allows patients and other people in your community to find you, and it also really shows that you're interested in nutrition and practice. Students, we have a lot of student support. With our new web features, we do need you to sign up again with the new online form. And then coming 2023 to 2024, we want to expand on our collaborations. We've had a big history with the Nutrition Disease Prevention and Wellness Academy SIG. We've had connections with the University of Western States. We want to continue that. We also are happy to launch a tentative save the date for our annual Academy meeting for our members on October 11th, coming up in a few months in New Orleans. And we also just received a new site score for the nutrients journals, where members can submit any articles for another 10% discount. So that will also still be active. And really, to emphasize tonight's webinar and our alliance with the American Nutrition Association, I wanted to highlight this new membership feature. Our current alliance with the ANA will allow 35% discount for this new CPNP certification. It's the highest tiered ANA discount and currently exclusive to OWNS. We're grateful to be able to extend this percentage to our active members. You can access this through your active membership portal, which will also lead to the ANA discounted site. This is very, very big for both the ANA and also for the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society for, as I said, members and future members. Some of our biggest supporters have been our fellows. I know a lot of you have reached out to me, and future fellows have reached out to me quite a bit. I'm glad to report that this new certification has 40 credit hours that can be applied to the nutrition prerequisite that we have for our fellowship program out of the 50. So if you finish the program with the ANA, you also take off a bulk of your prerequisites for the fellowship program, and then we can proceed with the application. So it's a great feature there as well. So I want to slowly transition, and I'm going to pass the stage very soon to a very high-level person at ANA, Corinne Bush. She is the interim chief executive officer of the American Nutrition Association. She is one of the co-founders of the ANA. She's been a part of the strategic direction, which culminated in the personalized nutrition profession. For almost 10 years, she's led nutrition science and education and was named the Chief Nutrition Programs Officer. She is a certified nutrition specialist like myself and an expert in personalized nutrition approaches to complex chronic disease. She holds a Master of Science in Nutrition from Rutgers and has received advanced training in personalized approaches from the Institute of Functional Medicine, IFM. Prior to her work with the ANA, Corinne maintained a private practice and oversaw nutrition programs at a large compounding pharmacy and wellness center. So I'd like to introduce Corinne. And Corinne, if your mic is open, you can take it away, and I will.
Okay. Thank you, Neda. And wow, I am just so thrilled to be here with this community, with the OWNS community. I learned so much just in your entree that you just shared with the group. And it really strikes me that the certified personalized nutrition practitioner training and certification is really the perfect blend for the OWNS community. So I think I didn't realize how very deeply steeped in nutrition that the OWNS members already are. So I think it's just going to be a beautiful alliance and a really beautiful certification for you folks. And so from now on, I'm going to refer to that, the Certified Personalized Nutrition Practitioner, as the PNP. That's our buzzword for that. But first, I want to spend a little time talking about the ANA, and then I'll go into the details of the PNP. So what we do and what we're about at ANA towards our vision of healthy people powered by nutrition is that we translate evidence-based nutrition science to build nutrition literacy in professionals and in the public toward that vision of healthy people. And we do this based on our 6 foundational values that drive all of the work of the ANA. And that's that nutrition is a science, and we know that there is a rich there's a rich science that illuminates nutrition's impact on our health, but it's an evolving science, isn't it? Because the research in nutrition is unlike the research in other medical areas where we have a single chemical targeting a single, impacting a single disease state or a single biomarker. But when we eat a vast amalgam of macronutrients and micronutrients. And one thing that we're working on within ANA now is creating a new evidence-based approach to nutrition research. And that's something that we'll follow up on as that evolves. And then nutrition is medicine. We all understand it's a core element of our health. And so how can it not be a core utilized element of the medical community? Unfortunately, it is not yet, except with doctors like you who are already steeped in the knowledge of its power. And then nutrition is personal. And so our biology is so unique. We all have a unique genome, but that's not our inheritance. That's not our full inheritance, right? It's our nutrition and our lifestyle washing over our genes that creates the phenotype or the expression of our best health that we can achieve with personalized nutrition. And then nutrition is healthcare, and for golly, should be a core element of our healthcare culture and system. And that is our work to empower all healthcare professionals to be equipped to integrate nutrition into their work. It's also an ecosystem, and it's pretty vast. It goes all the way from food growers and providers to policymakers, philanthropists, industry. There's just a huge ecosystem that the ANA seeks to bring together and really does to bring together that ecosystem. And then last and finally, but certainly not least, is the work that we're doing now to really reach out to the public with unbiased science-based nutrition knowledge. And it is just unfair that personalized nutrition is beyond the reach of everyone. And that is what we seek to do at the ANA. Okay, so ANA as the gold standard for personalized nutrition. So over the last 15 years, the ANA has really coalesced this ecosystem, especially in the science realm, to create a profession that really didn't exist 15 years ago. We did not have a personalized nutrition profession. And we did that by bringing together the most important elements of a true evidence-based profession. One thing that we really hang our hat on is our corporate relationship policy. So we only engage with corporations that reach a very high bar in terms of their own science, their own integrity, and their own transparency. And we don't just say that, we walk that talk. And we are proud to outline the corporations that we do engage with, because they're the folks that are doing it right, supporting the ecosystem in the way that moves nutrition forward. We're also providers of continuing medical education through the ACCME, so the Accreditation Council of Continuing Medical Education. This is an accreditation we've had for decades and really very important. So when we provide CME credits, it's through our own accreditation through this third-party organization. 2, we're accredited by NCCA, and that's a third-party accreditor of our Certified Nutrition Specialist certification. That Neda holds that certification, as do I. So that's a certification for nutrition professionals at a very, very, very deep level. We have a peer-reviewed Medline Index journal, which we've had since 1960 or so. It's now the Journal of the American Nutrition Association. And in that journal, we have written a definition of personalized nutrition, where we've brought together world-renowned experts in the field of personalized nutrition to help us define the practice model of personalized nutrition and really what it means to be in practice in personalized nutrition. And we can offer that link to you if you'd like to read that article. It's an open access article. We also have 63 years of annual conferences behind us. We're about to mount our 64th, and we warmly welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina, October 19th and 20th, where we'll be holding a summit. We call it our Personalized Nutrition Summit 2023. And the theme this year is healthy longevity. And it's shaping up to be fantastic. The summit itself carries 20 continuing medical education credits. And then within our closest ranks, we have just so many of world-renowned, top-notch nutrition scientists and clinicians. So we have our board members of the BCNS, that's our certifying board, that Julie Petit. Welcome, Julie, to the BCNS at our last board meeting. We also have committees and councils. We have a scientific advisory board, all a group of very, very important leaders that help us to do the work that we do in the world. Okay, Neda. All right, and I talked a little bit about nutrition literacy. And so standing on our standards that we set for the nutrition ecosystem and evidence-based nutrition science, we are building nutrition literacy for professionals and the public. And that means that the professionals that an individual talks to, whether it's their doctor like you or a nutritionist like me, when they go out into the community and they are at their YMCA or a community center or their house of worship, those people are versed and equipped to talk about nutrition. And then when they enter the marketplace, if you're at your farmer's market and the farmer can hand you a bunch of broccoli and say, this is an indole-containing vegetable that's going to help you metabolize your hormones healthfully. So it's really what we see is surrounding an individual with nutrition literate folks that they themselves can then be empowered to health with good nutrition. So the CPNP, and as I said, it was really interesting to hear your entree, Neda, because of its, I feel like this is just such a good juxtaposition or next step, I guess I should say, for an OWNS member to become certified as a PNP person. And so why the PNP, I think, is the first question that I would ask. Well, it was created to provide licensed healthcare practitioners with the skills and knowledge to embed personalized nutrition into your practice. It also identifies you as a practitioner that has this skill. So it's a signifier to the world that you are skilled and effective in personalized nutrition. And we know, as Neda said earlier, people are seeking out nutrition and so much now. They really are asking the questions about nutrition, and they're expecting people to, their medical providers to have those answers. And so to be eligible for the certification, we require that you have a bachelor's degree or higher in nutrition or dietetics, or are a licensed healthcare professional. And what happens with certification is that it must conform to what we call the 3 E's. So there's an educational component, there's an experiential component, and then there's an exam and continuing education. So the educational component is this training. It's online, it's self-paced, it's 40 hours of CME that it carries, and it's in a multimedia, very accessible format. So it's short segment videos with readings and materials that go along with them. And it's really, it moves along at a fast clip, and it's really an interesting educational experience. And then for the experiential component, we would ask that you do 1 personalized nutrition case report and sit for an exam, which is online and is 100 multiple choice questions. And then recertification is achieved by earning 30 continuing education credits every 5 years. Along with that, we really are making it possible for you to bring personalized nutrition to life in your practice in a real way. So we will have we do have a comprehensive toolkit so that you can implement personalized nutrition right away. We have client handouts. We have over 20 clinical reference sheets with pearls and further reading. And we will train you to communicate effectively with your patients about the role of nutrition in health or in their disease state. And so we dig deep into personalized nutrition assessment. What are the biomarkers to be looking for? There's so much available now in the world of labs, and we will, this course explores that. And then the nutrition and supplements and therapeutic diets that go along with these interventions. And very importantly, drug nutrient interactions. And then body systems, and how do we bring together the matrixed body systems to really create health. So we'll go through these body systems, the GI system, the brain and cognitive health, the immune system, cardiometabolic health, and hormone health, to really uncover the root causes of people's dis-ease to be able to bring them to their optimal health. And we'll also explore with you personalized nutrition practice models. So what does it look like to really embed personalized nutrition into practice, whether that be a clinic that has the doctor, that would be you, with a CNS practitioner within the clinic, or would you as the doctor do that personalized nutrition completely, the doctor do it on their own and do a referral situation with nutritionists? So there are different practice models that are explored. And then behavior change and motivational interviewing is another really important component here that you pointed to, Neda. So how can we foster behavior change in folks so that they really take on these interventions and really make a change in their life to transform their health? Okay, so now I would like to introduce Dr. David Perlmutter, who will provide a 10 to 12 minute really interesting video on eye health. He's fantastic. He, as most of you might know, is a board-certified neurologist and one of our friends and family at the ANA. He's a fellow of our American College of Nutrition. He sits on our scientific advisory board. He has published extensively in peer-reviewed neurology journals and our own journal, the American College of Nutrition. He's won many awards, including our own American College of Nutrition's Humanitarian of the Year and our Media Award. And he has played a pivotal role in really bringing understanding of nutrition science to consumers through his best-selling books and his interviews on nationally syndicated television. So I give you Dr. David Perlmutter.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, and first let me say thank you to the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society for having me as a guest today, as an introduction to really put forth my ideas in terms of why nutrition is so incredibly important as it relates to eye health, and really, as such, the value of the Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, and first let me say thank you to the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society for having me as a guest today, as an introduction to really put forth my ideas in terms of why nutrition is so incredibly important as it relates to eye health, and really, as such, the value of the personalized nutrition practitioner program. And it's been said that the eye is the gateway to the soul. The eyes are the gateway to the brain, that's for sure. We now recognize that brain degenerative conditions are really oftentimes predictable by simply looking at what's going on in the eyes. We live in a world where some 250 million people are suffering from varying degrees of vision compromise, with very common issues like cataracts, age-related macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and glaucoma, having a significant relationship to nutrition and other lifestyle issues as well. But nutrition really turns out to be the gateway to be upstream in terms of the genesis of these problems. We know that in America, for example, some 83 million individuals are either pre-diabetic or full-blown diabetic, type 2 diabetes. And that is a metabolic situation for which nutrition choices and nutritional intervention is hugely important. You know, we tend to focus in the Western world, and certainly here in America, on the treatments for our various maladies. But I think it's really fair to say that various maladies are actually not treated in the sense that we're getting rid of them with the standard approach of modern pharmaceutical care. For example, when we give patients a high blood pressure medicine to treat their high blood pressure, ask yourself, what happens the very next day when we stop that medication? The blood pressure goes up. So did we actually treat the underlying problem? When we say that we're treating type 2 diabetes by using one of the many medications that can lower blood sugar, again, what happens when that medication is stopped? The blood sugar goes up. So in a very real sense, we are treating the smoke while we are ignoring the fire. The same can be said about how we treat various eye disorders. For example, as it relates to diabetic retinopathy, the treatments that are so widely available, are they effective? Yes, they are. But do we actually treat the underlying disorder? Probably not. We're treating the various manifestations in the eye of the elevated blood sugar. Why is this happening? Why are these conditions that I have just enumerated so common, especially in older individuals? Well, the eye is at great risk for degeneration for a number of reasons. The eye is metabolically very, very active. And that means because of all this metabolic activity like the brain, it's really at risk because it's producing a lot of free radicals. Metabolism begets the formation of the byproducts of mitochondrial function, including free radicals. And why would the eye be so at risk? Well, it is because the eye is made up of a lot of what are called polyunsaturated fatty acids. These are fats that are susceptible to being damaged by higher levels of free radical activity. And really, this underscores the importance of nutrition as it relates to augmentation or upregulation of antioxidants, the notion of taking antioxidants, and even importantly, more importantly, I think, the fundamental notion of dietary interventions that reduce oxidative stress, that help our bodies actually produce antioxidant to go ahead and quench those free radicals. So yes, it's great to take a multivitamin that we've all heard about that might contain some beta carotene and some copper and zinc and other important vitamins and minerals. But the reality is that there's a panorama of antioxidants that are effective throughout the body to help us quench free radicals. We've been exploring those various antioxidants as they relate to the brain for the past 3 decades. And we've seen the research, of course, you all have seen the research that relates higher levels of antioxidants to eye protection. I think it's really important to understand that increased antioxidants are just a part of the puzzle. We have to understand and get our arms around the notion that in the eye, there are issues that can actually enhance the formation of free radicals. And it gets back to, where do these free radicals come from? Free radicals come from the function of our mitochondria. When our mitochondria, the energy producers of the cells in the eye in this case, are compromised in terms of their function, then there's a lot more exhaust coming out of the exhaust pipe, and that's what free radicals are. And they damage local tissues, and that is really a cornerstone to a lot of the degenerative eye conditions that we see. So we then have to ask ourselves, well, what threatens mitochondria? We know that that's where metabolic health plays a huge role. When we're metabolically compromised, for example, when blood sugar is elevated, it threatens the function of our mitochondria. Downstream effect, mitochondria increase free radical production, that damages the eye and sets us up for all manner of chronic, degenerative, progressive eye disease. So nutrition then becomes very, very important. We want to look at nutrition not just in terms of how many milligrams of a particular antioxidant it contains, but rather, how does nutrition nurture our metabolic function such that we don't increase the production of these free radicals in the first place? That's actually very important, because the link to compromising metabolic function seems to be inflammation. And this takes us to recognizing the importance of diet in terms of either increasing or decreasing inflammation. The balance of gut bacteria turns out to be really fundamental as it relates to inflammation, because one of the functions of our gut bacteria is to maintain the integrity of the gut lining when that is threatened. When the gut lining is threatened, and I've got a long way to go to get back to the eye, but when the gut lining is threatened, what does that do? It allows certain chemicals to get out of the gut into the circulation. And what does that do? It challenges the immune system, increases inflammation that's experienced in the eyes. Inflammation in and of itself is bad for the eyes, but secondarily, by virtue of its effect in terms of compromising mitochondrial function, it increases free radicals, and we set the stage for eye degeneration. So what I've just said takes us away from the notion of treating glaucoma, treating diabetic retinopathy, treating age-related macular degeneration. Hey, I'm all in favor. But we are talking about what is upstream. What is leading to these issues in the first place? The biggest lever we can pull is via nutrition, because it's nutrition that tends to put the fire out. The treatments that we have for these conditions are great, but in a sense, they're treating the smoke and not the fire. Desmond Tutu had a quote once, and I'm going to paraphrase. He said, yes, it's important to pull people out of the river, but it's equally important, if not more important, to ask, why are they falling in the first place? We know that nutritional choices here in America are not great. We know that, for example, 58% of calories that Americans consume today are coming from ultra-processed foods. These are foods that threaten metabolic health, that are associated with increased risk for high blood sugar and full-blown diabetes, and that are pro-inflammatory. All of these things have direct consequence as it relates to our vision, as it relates to our eye health. And these are the kinds of things that you'll learn in the personalized nutrition practitioner program. You'll learn how to balance metabolism via diet, how to increase the gut bacteria's ability to produce healing chemicals via diet, how inflammation is so strongly influenced by the health and diversity and functionality of our gut bacteria, and connect the dots. How does that affect vision? So yes, metabolic health is fundamentally important for eye health. That's a given. And frankly, it goes well beyond the role of diabetes, full-blown diabetes, as it relates to visual loss or threats to vision in the first place. It's not as if the only people whose retina, for example, are threatened are people with diabetes. Being pre-diabetic is a threat to retinal health. Being a little bit insulin insensitive is a threat to diabetic health. It's a continuum. Nothing suddenly happens when fasting blood sugar is greater than 120 or the hemoglobin A1C is greater than 6. It's not binary, it's analog. These changes begin to occur even before diagnosis of diabetes is made. So it's really so incumbent upon all of us to keep ourselves and our patients in the best metabolic health possible. Well, I hope you found value in these comments. I certainly enjoyed sharing them with you today. And I'm so excited that we are forming this relationship and are opening up this incredibly important channel to bring nutrition and nutritional awareness and nutritional intervention into the field of eye health. I'm Dr. David Perlmutter. Thank you so much for having me today.
Okay, wonderful. We really appreciate Dr. Perlmutter's time to address our audience tonight. It's been quite a wonderful connection with the A&E, and they've been so helpful with coordinating with the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society. So we want to give a deep, deep thank you to the Dr. Perlmutter's team as well. So we're going to shift gears a bit. I know there's been questions streaming through, and I've actually received pre-questions through various funnels, through my email, through my LinkedIn, from people who are very interested with tonight's webinar. So I'm going to give some questions to Corinne currently. So one big question is, how is the CPNP program different than the CNS? And or would having both of them be redundant? So if you can answer that, Corinne,
Yes.
shed some light on.
Yeah, first I would say that having both of them is not redundant. It's a different lens, I think, by which we explore personalized nutrition. So the CPNP is really designed for doctors and other healthcare practitioners who want to bring nutrition fully into practice, but are not really going fully down the path to be a nutritionist. Some people might want to have both, and in fact, many people do, but the certified nutrition specialist is for the nutritionist first and foremost, or a doctor or healthcare practitioner that has a very, very, very deep interest in personalized nutrition, like you, Neda, or Julie, who really went that extra mile to obtain. So we talked about the 3 E's. With the certified nutrition specialist, the education is a master's or higher in nutrition or a nutrition-related field. The PNP is a bachelor's or higher in nutrition or a nutrition-related field, or a licensed healthcare practitioner. To attain the CNS, you really have to do the nutrition coursework that goes along with our curriculum requirements. And then there is an internship of 1,000 hours. So if we compare that to the PNP course, which is a case study versus 1,000 hours in practice. And then sitting for our board certified exam, if you would go down the CNS route, which is 300 questions, and it's really in-depth and very extensive. This is 100 questions. So it's a deep dive. I would say that the PNP is a deep dive, and the CNS is a really deep dive into the world of personalized nutrition.
And I want to add to that, we have an actual side-by-side chart that we can share with y'all. It's going to actually be on the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society website as well, where we compare the 2 programs. But there's definitely a time difference between the 2. And as Corinne was saying, the depth of it is very different. This is a little bit more attainable for practicing doctors who want to really get a deep dive into nutrition a little bit quicker. I had a question will the CPNP discuss ocular conditions specifically? That's another question.
I would have to look into that and get back to OWNS on that. We certainly, as I went over all of the different conditions or the different body systems that we address, and whether or not ocular disease is called out in that. We know that, as Dr. Perlmutter just very beautifully laid out for us, it's that foundational inflammation and metabolic disturbance that drives so many of these ocular conditions. But I'd be happy to answer that question. I answer that directly to you, Neda, and then you can disseminate it to the society.
Perfect. I had another general question about the credits that are applied in the program. Can you explain the credit system of the CPNP?
Of the PNP? Yes, so it's 40 continuing medical education credits, that's CME. And Neda, you and I spoke briefly in that some states do accept the CME as continuing medical education. We also, through the BCNS, do provide CE, continuing education credits, that are broadly accepted in various professions across the states. So I don't know, is that about a specific state's law for CE credits, or can you give me a little more on
No,
that?
I think it's more of a general, is this actually a CME level course?
Yes, it is a CME level course. Yes.
Yeah, and then we would apply that to the state requirements. So some states have certain tier requirements, but it is basically an accredited CME. So that's what's nice about this as well, versus some other nutrition programs that do not actually have CME embedded within it. Now, me being a CNS and always looking for credits in nutrition, would this apply? I think you had mentioned slightly that if this would actually apply to my CNS credits.
Yes, it would apply to your requirement for 75 continuing education credits over 5 years to maintain the CNS certification. So yes, those 40 credits would go a long way toward the CNS certification and toward the credits that you need within your own profession.
Would you want to touch upon, I have another question, is there an estimate of the time commitment? Going back, comparing the CNS to this program, what would you say the rough time commitment is in this new pathway?
It's 40 hours. So, and that includes the additional readings that are done. So it's a significant time commitment. As I said earlier, it is really, and I hate to pun, but it's very digestible in that the modules are broken down such that you can listen to a couple of modules between patients or at the end of the day, and then do the required reading. And it's 40 hours, which is
and that could be separated because it's virtual, as you were saying. So being able to do it virtually helps too. And the exam is virtual as well, you were mentioning.
Yes, everything is virtual.
Yes. So that's a huge, actually, I was the first year of the CNS exam to be virtual. It used to be a physical requirement and it switched. So it did help out a lot in terms of user friendliness. So it's great that this is a virtual program.
Right. And I believe that the exam for this is on a rolling schedule. It's not like the CNS exam, which is offered twice a year. So it is virtual, which is more convenient, but it is only offered a couple of times a year. Whereas this particular exam can be offered whenever the candidate finishes the course.
Excellent. That makes life easier too. This might be another dual question for both of us. How does one sign up for the PNP program?
Well, do you want to take that, Neda?
Yeah. So there is a direct link. You're actually not signing up on our website. Technically, you're going through our portal, through the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society portal that is linked to the ANA program discounted funnel. So what you do is you become a member of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society, and then once your membership is cleared, you will have a within your membership benefit section, there will be a button there that says basically sign up for the PNP course, and that goes directly to the ANA through that page, and then you sign up with various requirements such as your name, degree level, etc.
Yes. And one of our staff asked that please do indicate your degree when you're registering, because we need that when we are reporting back to the ACCME, that accrediting agency. So it's really important that we know the types of doctors that are coming in for a program. So please do make sure that you include your degree.
Yes, and we did. I had a few emails regarding the optometry degree that has been updated on all the pages as far as we know this afternoon on the American Nutrition Association website. So the drop downs and all of the points for optometry should be there. And if you see something missing, let us know. But it's been rectified, so that should be easy to find. We have a question about gut bacteria for patients who have had concussion. history. This doctor, she makes nutritional recommendations to her patients and wanted to check if there's certain recommendations for concussion. I think that's a very specific question, but I would like to translate that to, is there education on gut function in this program?
Yes. So as shown, there's one of our deep dive modules is into GI health, and it would go through in each of those categories that I pointed to, the assessment and the intervention and the various ways to balance GI function that is so foundational to all of our other body systems.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep this link up too while we're talking and finishing up the Q&A. There's a direct QR code that goes straight to our website, so that you can find the sign up very quickly, or you can just type in the ocularnutritionsociety.org. So if that makes it a little easier in the world of QR codes now, right? There's also a question about the fellowship program as it relates to the CNS and the new program with the ANA. I would advise if you can just email us directly, because the fellowship program does have a whole different point system. So I don't want to confuse everyone tonight with another thing, but the fellowship of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society is specific for eye care, and you can put the certified personalized nutrition practitioner under the category of whole body nutrition, if you wanted to kind of split the two. Okay, and okay, so I think we got most of the questions. If I missed anything, please let me know. All right, so
I add one thing that I neglected to say, which is that I don't think I said when I was talking about our annual summit, October 19th and 20th in Charlotte, that we're offering a 10% discount on summit registration to OWNS members, as well as the discount to the PNP course.
And I want to expand on that summit. It's a wonderful summit. I actually was lucky to have a double summit last October. Our academy meeting was at the same time as the ANA summit, and I was toggling the two. And I have to say the ANA summit was phenomenal. Some very, very good speakers, very good energy, and a lot of collaboration. And that's actually where a lot of this alliance, further alliance with the ANA solidified. So I have to say it's a great summit, and myself and I believe a few members, Dr. Poteet, I believe, will be attending the summit. So it's something that's very informative and great. And I do think what the topic this year is very appealing. I think it's the anti-aging, if I don't recall.
Healthy longevity. So
Healthy longevity,
not only expanding lifespan, but extending healthy lifespan, which is what we're all interested
in trying to do. So Corinne, before my closing remarks, would you like to say anything for tonight?
Oh, I just would really love to thank you, Neda, and the OWNS members for having the ANA with you tonight. And really, I think this is going to be a great partnership, because our vision and our mission and what we're up to in the world is such a synergistic set of initiatives. So I warmly welcome you to sign up for the PNP. And Neda, I'm sure if you have further questions from your group, that you'll send them through to us, and we'd be happy to do that. And we'd love to have touch points. And we were talking about this before we started the webinar tonight, for folks to learn more, those that couldn't join us, and maybe we'll do this again. So we'll plan something.
Yes.
In the coming months, right? In around 3 or 4 months, we said.
I think that would be great. And I'm sure more questions will come up. So I want to just end with, let us continue this chain reaction of creating a healthier society and educate ourselves for our patients and communities. Remember, it is a chain reaction. If I didn't get educated, I wouldn't be here today, and hopefully spark some inspiration in others to really pursue nutrition in their practice. I want to give a huge thank you to the ANA team, Dr. Perlmutter, for taking the time to collaborate with us. And as I said, I'm going to be working very hard this year to help the OWNS Society grow in a really, really positive direction. And if any questions arise, please reach out to us directly. And there is a direct email to the ANA regarding training questions. It's training@theana.org. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time to attend this webinar, and we will be recording this. We will be posting it. I know a lot of people have been asking to join us this evening, and if they couldn't, this is going to be accessible through the website, and future we will have more collaborative efforts, I'm sure of it. So I'd like to say good night to everyone, and thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.